Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to another Spartan Sports Report. Ron Wiley's with me tonight, and Ron, you may have to help me
you
here.
out? No, Fran. You're the pro here, not me. I always follow your lead.
Spartans went to Pendleton Heights on Saturday with a record of 4-0 and came out of the gym with a record of 4-1.
Yeah. It was just one of those games listened to on the radio. It just seemed like we couldn't do anything right. We couldn't get inside.
No.
It was just a bad game all around. Shooting 33%, that's not going to cut it.
Cold shooting. As you said, we couldn't get inside. The outside shooting wasn't there.
Well, that's the problem. Whenever you can't get inside, you're relying on the outside shot. If it's dropping, that's good. But chances are those high percentage shots don't drop. And if you can't get the rebound, if you're not good on the glass, then what happens is that, well, you get out rebounded and you get out hustled. And that's what happened to the Spartans. And again, it was one of those games. I didn't expect them to go undefeated all season long.
Grant Smith scored 13 points to lead, so Grant, he was on his game.
Yeah, Grant's one of those ball players who can. He's a tide changer. I mean, he's really stepping up. Last year we saw signs and hints of what to expect this year. He's impressing me with everything that he does. One of the things that impresses me is how he can control the ball, control the dribble. He's very good with his dribble. He's able to get inside. He's also dangerous from behind the line. Of course, you have one of those games where the lid just doesn't open up.
It was 37-28 after 3, and the final score was 45-35. So the Spartans were forced under their average.
Yeah, and again, you're going to have those games where you're going to be under your average, and your defense, again, giving up 45 points is not that bad. I don't know what their scoring average is, but for the most part, the Spartans' defense has been very, very good. Again, we've seen incidences where the offense just, especially in that Rushville game, the first half scoring 16 points and then exploding for 15 in the 4-minute overtime. So the offense sometimes gets into a rhythm where they're really running smooth and then they go through a dry spell. The inconsistencies is what killed them against Pendleton Heights.
They play 2 games this week. Wednesday they go to South Dearborn to take on the team. The Knights played 5 games, have yet to win one.
Yeah, they haven't had a good team, and a lot, probably since Carey's been there, they probably haven't had a good team. We've beaten them soundly the last few times that we've played them, so it's good to have them on the schedule to get back, but you don't want to look past them. A team that's winless can be the most dangerous team on your schedule.
That's right. Richmond comes to town Saturday night to meet the Spartans.
Yeah, and this is not really one of the Richmond teams that we've expected in the past. This is sort of a down year for Richmond. So hopefully, again, that's all the reports. I haven't seen them play, so I really shouldn't be speaking that. But for the most part, from what I've heard, Richmond definitely is beatable this year, and we got the team to do it.
They're 2-3. They play Indianapolis Tech on Friday night. Spartans will be idle Friday night. So.
Yeah, so we'll have that. Yeah, and again, the bowl I expect to be rocking whenever we play Richmond on Saturday night, and that's always a good rivalry game. Back in the 80s with Woody Austin, we've just been very, very they're our rivals. They're our arch rivals, and you definitely like to beat Richmond. It's been a while since we beat them, so hopefully this year will be the year that we get the bowl rocking and the boys that come back with a victory.
The Red Devils' 2 wins are over Indianapolis Manual, and they had a 3-point victory, 44-41, I believe, over Jay County in their last game. They've lost to Hamilton, Ohio, Indianapolis North Central, and to Marion. Not only will Rich be coming to town Saturday night, but we'll have some youngsters at halftime in what they call the Christmas extravaganza.
Yeah,
youngsters, kindergarten to 8th grade will be performing at halftime, and I know the fans always look forward to that.
Oh, I love it, because especially where we set out to do the ball game, you have the parents, they're sitting out there and they have their cameras and they want to get every opportunity to see their kid on the Spartan Bowl floor. What a great time. Come on out to the bowl, support these kids.
Yes.
It's fun. It is. The atmosphere this year has just been electric, and I love it.
I hope we have a big crowd Saturday night, and it should be a great night. The girls, Lady Spartans, they've won a ball game, Lawrenceburg. They went to Lawrenceburg Saturday night, came back with a victory.
I tell you what, these girls are improving each and every time they get on the floor. Each and every time, again, when you have 6 or 7, I think it's 7 out of 13 freshmen, you're a very young team, and when they first came out the first few games, it just thought, oh my gosh, are we even going to win a game? But again, Michael Thompson is one of those coaches that and again, I know this may sound kind of moronic when I say this, but he's a teacher, and he's teaching these girls as much as he's coaching them, and I tell you, he has a lot of patience with these girls, and he's seeing the future. The future with these young kids is very, very bright, and I'm very impressed with these girls. I'm very impressed with the way that they continue to play.
Yes.
They don't give up. You don't see their shoulders shrugging. I'm very impressed with them, and Michael Thompson, an incredible coach.
35-28 was the final score, and Michael, since the beginning of the season, Ron, has said if we can keep the opposition under 30 points, we have a good chance to win.
Oh yeah. Anytime you can get a team under 30 points, and again, it's finding that right combination of players, and Michael's doing that. He's finding the right combination of players. Of course, you have your seniors with Amanda Cobb. You have a few other seniors in there, but for the most part, it's a young team, and you got to find that chemistry because, as we said with Noah Belt, who was playing 8th grade last year, these girls were playing 8th grade last year for the most part, and so coming out playing varsity ball right away, again, they're taking a beating, but the experience is that they're gaining is going to pay great dividends, and we're seeing it right now. We're seeing improvement right now, and that's what you can expect, and that's what you want is to see improvement, and we're seeing it.
The girls play twice this week. They go to Muncie Central Tuesday, and they'll be at South Dearborn on Friday. So they got a couple of road games this week for the Lady Spartans. Other area boys teams last week. Union County is 1-3 on the season. They lost to Hagerstown 53-47. Cambridge City Lincoln is 3-3. They lost to Knightstown 60-55. They won 63-51 over a new school that's joining the IHSAA called the Indianapolis Math and Science School. So it's a 1A school.
Did Cambridge City beat the Math?
Yes,
I hope so.
they beat the Math and Science school,
Yeah,
right? Right.
geez.
Centerville is 1-4. The Bulldogs started struggling, but they did beat Randolph Southern 64-37 for their one victory so far. Franklin County is 4-0. They beat Rushville 64-50 and South Dearborn 53-36. And I think the Wildcats are to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they are. We have them coming to the bowl in February. And I shouldn't say anything negative about the Math and Science team because we'll be working for them someday.
Sure.
At least I probably will be. I'm not good at Math and Science at all. But getting back to Franklin County, this is a good team. A very good team.
They're a very good team.
They're going to be coming back to the bowl this year. And, I got a lot of friends in Franklin County, and they're looking for a victory when they walk off our floor. But again, you hope that Franklin County has a very winning record when we get in here because we want to gauge how good our boys are by playing the best. And I think we got a good team. I'm very impressed with the chemistry that Carrie Brown has for this team, the chemistry that they have with each other. And, I'm expecting these kids to go far in sectional play.
Everybody I've talked to compliments the Spartans team. They say the Spartans are a good team this year.
Yeah, they are a very good team, and again, they're a mix of veterans and young. We only have a couple seniors.
Two seniors,
yeah. We have two seniors, which is Tyler Billups and I'm trying to think Chandler Graves. And then everyone else is, we got Bo is a junior, and Garrett's a sophomore, and Wes Smith and Grant Smith, I think they're both juniors. I know Grant is. So we got a lot. And Noah Belt, I'm impressed with that kid. The freshman that he is.
Yes.
He's really impressed me, especially during the Rushville game. He took a charge late in the game. He hit a three-pointer and a free throw that put us over the top, and so our future's bright. He's getting the same experience that Garrett got last year.
Yes,
and then the year before that, Bo got experience as a freshman. Yeah. So Kerry is picking these freshmen, and they're earning spots on the floor. He's not giving it to them; they're earning it. So the future's bright with the Spartan boys too.
In the conference, that's the Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference. Franklin County leads. They have won 2 games and lost none. The Spartans have a 1-0 record along with, let's see, who else is 1-0? Greensburg is also 1-0.
How you expect them to be 1-0?
Lawrenceburg is 1-1. Rushville is 0-2. Batesville is 0-1. South Dearborn is 0-1. and that's the lineup of conference, and they play 7 conference games. So it's early in the conference
Well,
right now.
you know, for the years that we've been in the EIAC, which that's very hard to say at times, I will say EIAC, Greensburg's been the team. I mean, they were state champion the last couple of years. I think they won back-to-back, if I remember right.
3A, yeah, class
So,
3As, yeah.
they're the class in our conference. Obviously, you want to gauge against them, but I think this year, I'd almost have to say that we may be the favorites, and I hope I'm not trying to be too biased and homered on that, but our Spartans are very good boys. They're a very good team, and I'd like to see us have walk away with the champions.
Be great. As you mentioned, we tied with Greensburg last year.
We beat them.
We beat Greensburg during the season, so we claim we won the title.
Well, sure we did.
We don't have to share the title with Greensburg.
Yeah. And I forget if Greensburg, if they come here this year on the bowl, and I think they do.
They do, yeah. Early in the new year, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the past couple of years when we've played them home and away, we would always play them very tough at home, and then we'd get blown out when we'd play them at their place. Last year we beat them on their home court, which was incredible that we went to Greensburg and beat the Pirates. So this year hopefully we can beat them again on our home floor.
Let's go back a few days to the Shelbyville ball game that was played here at Connorsville. History was made.
Oh yeah, and unfortunately we weren't there, which is a bummer. But 48 free throws. You don't score 48 points in a game that much. We scored 56 the night before against Rushville during an overtime game.
Yes.
You score 48 points at the line. You go 48 from 55. That right there tells you you're going to win.
The old record was 47, set 51 years ago with Jeffersonville and Henryville playing a ball game in the 64-65 season. One of the teams scored 47 points from the free throw line.
That's crazy.
Spartan scored 48, so they're in the IHSA record books.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you, we've talked about this, and we've seen this many times, Fran. You and I have seen many times where you lose the game at the line. You miss crucial free throws either in the beginning of the ball game or crucial free throws at the end of the ball game. I've always said spares wins you games in bowling, free throws wins you games in basketball. And you go 87, 88%, 48 from 55.
Yes.
You're going to win the ball game. And boy, I tell you, we weren't there, but I would assume that we were doing a lot of driving.
People were there.
You were there.
Yes, I went. I witnessed history. So
yeah, because you were there. And now, how were they? Were they getting to the line by driving in a lot and forcing?
Right. Shelbyville made a lot of crazy. There's a new rule this year that you can't put your hands on a guy in the IHSA in high school basketball.
When you're guarding?
Yeah, I mean, and they were just pushing and shoving and trying to reach around, knock the ball loose, and they were just continually being called. And
like half their squad fouled out, wasn't it?
4 guys fouled out. One of the players confronted one of the officials. Well, didn't confront him. He just asked the official. He said, "Hey, how come you're calling so many fouls?"
Did he get teed up?
No, he didn't get their coach got a tee.
Oh, did he?
But anyway, the official supposedly told his player, he said, "Young man, I don't have any place to go tonight. I may call 100 fouls before we get out of here." So.
Wow, when you heard that's amazing. Yeah, and sometimes the Zebras, they let them play and then they start pulling those whistles out at the last minute, which really can change the complexity of a ball game. But if they're consistent, they are. But 48 out of 55. I remember a few years ago, and I want to say it was against Union County, where we had like 3 or 4 of our guys foul out, opening. I think it was a game Union County won. Which is, and that's another thing with Union County, I know we're going back to the very beginning of the game, but they come out on our floor and start, and they go to the middle of the floor. Right. I can understand if they win, but they win once every 40 years. Come on. But yeah, I remember that game a few years ago where we had a lot of guys foul out, and I tell you, that's not fun when you're in foul trouble from the beginning. That puts yourself in a hole. And we were worried playing because Shelbyville put a whipping on Rushville by 17.
Yes.
And we squeaked that one out in overtime. So we were worried, thinking, oh man, Shelbyville. But man, we beat them by 32. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was the surprise of my season so far.
Yeah. We don't have any tape of it either.
But it was quite a game. Staying with basketball for a little bit, our park system here in Connorsville, they're getting youngsters basketball for boys and girls underway. The program is for 3 grade divisions, grades 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. And they can sign up through December the 30th, and they'll be starting their games in January on Saturday afternoon. So this is what the boys club sort of used to do, is to have these young basketball players. So
yeah, and it's good.
And well, it's great for the feeder system.
Sure it is. I was going to say, I mean, this is something that Kerry, obviously, this is where he gets his talent from in the feeder system of these young kids. And it's just fun for kids to get out there and play. You'd rather have them in the basketball gym than on the streets. And it just, sports is very, very valuable to young kids' life. It teaches them, obviously, it teaches them teamwork, it teaches them, skills, and it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Speaking of the park, I think you have, there's a deadline Friday for a couple of programs.
Yeah, we have the Church Basketball League.
Mention that, right. Mm-hmm.
The Condos Parks Department, they're accepting sign-ups for the Church Basketball League. Cost is $175 a team. Sign-ups are taken through the 18th, which is this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
More information, 825-5244 for that. The Men's Basketball League is now forming. Again, pretty much same thing, registration until December 18th. The cost per team for that is $250, and it's the league for men 16 and up. Entry forms can be picked up at the Miller Center. Also, it's limited to a 12-man roster. So again, $250 for a 12-man roster for that. Not too
wanted to
bad.
mention that because we're nearing the deadline on that. There's another December 30th deadline. The park is set, and that's for the indoor soccer program.
Yeah, and we did a game a few years ago
right.
indoor soccer, and that's a lot of fun watching that. On that small basketball, it really is a lot of fun. So if you like soccer, I know they have the outdoor soccer in the summertime / early fall over there at the Babe Ruth field. But this is a lot of fun to play, and I tell you. We've seen the kids get out there and play too, Fran, and it's fun watching them get out there and play. And so, yeah, lots of things going on here in our Parks and Recreation.
That's right. And it's for youngsters in grades 3 and 5, and then also in 6 and 8. They have the 2 grade divisions. It's $25 for a youngster to play in that. So, but that's still December 30th. They have time yet to sign up for that. We did swimming.
Yeah.
It'll be on TV3 this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
We do need to make a correction, though, because when we left the natatorium Thursday night, we thought the Lady Spartans had lost a meet by 3 points, 94-91.
Right.
The boys won 115-38, or these kids are unstoppable.
Yeah.
But anyway, they recalculated the scoring Friday morning and found out there was an error in it. And as the error was corrected, they gave the girls more points. They come up with a 94-92 victory.
Oh, good.
So it was in the 200 freestyle.
Yeah.
So they remain undefeated at 6-0.
Good
Perfect.
team. Yeah, and that's fun to watch. And if you've never been to the natatorium, if you've never been down there to watch, went over there to watch the kids swim, we had a lot of the basketball players. Saw Bo there, saw Tyler there,
Yes.
saw some of the kids there from the basketball team. Of course, Sollenberger, Morgan, he's a swimmer too as well. He's on the basketball team. So it's fun. It's a fun atmosphere. These kids root you on. I tell you what, if I started swimming the 500 meter, I would still be there, and they would be rooting me on until I got done. That's how incredibly and all the kids, not just on your team, but the other kids are rooting on a class atmosphere. These kids were. I was impressed, and it was loud. It was hard for us to hear each other when we were calling that. Thanks to Jennifer Getz for providing expert color commentary on that.
Yeah, she certainly did. But those people get excited.
They do. Yeah. I got excited watching those. There were some of those close finishes, and not just at the 1 and 2 spot, but we're talking 2 and 3, 3 and 4. I mean, you're talking. I mean, these you're going at it, and it echoes in there. And if you have curly hair and you're trying to straighten up, you don't want to go in there because it's humid.
Yeah, just a little humid.
Just a little.
The swimming this
I
week.
almost couldn't breathe.
They have an invitational, a diving invitational on Friday, and then a swimming meet invitational on Saturday this weekend at the CHS pool. They bring in several teams, so it should be interesting for the people.
Going out
people,
there and
yeah,
watch that,
yeah.
it's fun. And the diving was a lot of fun to see the kids do that too. And I tell you, I could never do any of those things. And I was talking to Joanne Porter. She was on my guests for On the Spot and talking about how it would be great to be able to do those things. And of course, that's a lot of gymnastics stuff. I've seen the kids flip and land, and I mean, it's perfect. They got to be perfect form. And I thought some of the judges were kind of harsh on these kids.
Yeah, when we had Daryl Drew on,
Yeah.
swimming coach, he talked about the connection between gymnastics
Yeah.
and swimming. He said
Yeah.
it's much the same thing. One lands in water and one lands on a mat.
Yeah, that's right. And on the mat, you want to land on your feet. In water, sometimes you want to land on your head. So maybe that's some of the difference too. But it was really a lot of fun. Again, the atmosphere. You know, if you're looking for something that's good to do and it's fun to watch, you definitely want to watch those kids swimming, because it is a whole lot of fun to just get caught up in the atmosphere of that. It made me want to start swimming.
We saw a couple of tens in the diving.
Yeah. There was that Centerville girl was just
Yes,
phenomenal. I mean,
she was.
Wow, she was. I mean, she made it look like we could do it. I mean, that's how easy it was. And but yeah, it was a great, lot of fun. And I tell you what, I was very impressed with is those long races. I mean, how they can go 500 meters.
Yeah, the
that's
500
20 laps. Yeah.
relay and the 400.
Yeah, I mean, that was just impressive and just really a whole lot of fun. It's something that we don't get to do a lot, and it's nice to break away from the quote-unquote big sports to watch these kids, and they're just as dedicated. They're just as athletic as any of the big four sports that's out there. Well, we don't do hockey, but you know, the big three American sports, these kids, it's incredible.
The freshman basketball team, Tim Howard coaches these guys. They're having an invitational here this Saturday. Starts at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. Hope the fans will try to come out and see. And before that, on Thursday night, they play at East Central. So we want to talk about the freshmen a little bit. The guys we'll be seeing in a year or so on varsity and JV team.
I was impressed when we were there for the swimming meet. I was walking around the facility, and right down is Spartan Arena. There at the high school, and the freshmen were playing, and there were a lot of people in the stands watching that ball game. And I think they were playing Cambridge City, but it was nice to see the freshmen on there playing. Again, they're the future of the Spartans. Who knows? We're seeing Noah now play. We saw Garrett last year and Bo the year before. Who knows? Some of these boys that you're watching now next week could be up at varsity playing. You never know. So it's nice to see these kids and support them too.
Sure is. Wrestling team is off until December the 29th and 30th. Spartan Classic.
That right there, that's like the biggest wrestling.
It's wall-to-wall wrestling.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's all it is, and I think that's one of the. Again, I think it may be one of the biggest wrestling tournaments in the state. Who knows?
It is. They come
huge.
from all over. They come from Fort Wayne,
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I mean, they come from all over the state.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, our wrestling team this past few years has really been very successful. You had Gonzalez, who was just lights out last couple of years, and so wrestling's starting to resurge here in Fayette County. And if you've never seen a wrestling meet, get on out there to the bowl, get on out there to where they wrestle at and compete, and especially during this big tournament, you'll see lots of good wrestlers.
I think it's a three-ring tournament, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the whole floor is filled up with wrestling. Yeah.
But our team's struggling a little bit, but new coach, and I think they'll be okay. Mm-hmm.
Who's the new coach?
Well, let's see. Mac Taylor is the new coach. Yeah, he I guess set records at Newcastle High School, and he was in high school at Newcastle. He set several records, and from what I understand, we're fortunate to have him.
Good.
As our Mike Bottomley wanted to give it up. He does soccer.
Oh yeah, he's all over the place.
Mike decided to give up one of the sports, so he gave up wrestling.
Yeah.
And Mac Taylor. He took over and everything, yeah.
Yeah, wrestling again. Wrestling's one of those. You're seeing a lot of girls. You're seeing a lot of girls wrestle. You're seeing a lot of girls break the gender walls, and they're coming in and they're wrestling. And they're taking on the guys, and they're winning too. So wrestling's one of the sports that all can compete in.
Sure.
Yeah. I know I couldn't.
Ron, we might talk about the gymnastics. I know you had the coach on.
Yeah.
They have their preview night this Wednesday.
Oh, good.
Starts at 6:30. So people want to come out and see the girls, and they actually don't start competition until January the 12th.
Wow. And gymnastics is another one of those sports. A lot of times, obviously, every 4 years during the Olympics, we get into a gymnastics craze, and we all watch it. We seem to know exactly what's going on during the Olympics. And of course, next year is an Olympic season for the gymnasts. But we have great gymnasts right here in Fayette County. I was talking to Joanne about all that and the history that she's had with a lot of these girls. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch a gymnastics meet. There's so much going on
Yes.
right at the same time. So I would encourage anyone to come on out and watch the gym. We are very blessed with the athletic department that we have here.
Oh, I agree.
In Connorsville for the school corporation, we have a phenomenal athletic department, athletic program. They are led by incredible coaches who are teachers first. And so we're very blessed as a community to have what we have.
Going back to basketball for a second, a couple of tournaments coming up between the holidays.
Yeah.
The girls go to Hanover, near Hanover, Indiana, for Rumble on the River.
Rumble on the River had something that they've played in the last couple of years, and again, this is another thing that's going to provide these girls with a lot of experience, a whole lot of experience. And so playing against some of these teams that they're going to be playing when they're rumbling on the river, again, will be something that will pay dividends. We may not win the tournament, we may not even win a game, but we're going to gain lots and lots of experience, and that's going to be the true victory when it starts playing out year after year after year after that.
They have strong teams coming into that. I know Michael Thompson is anxious to play teams that are really strong.
That's how you get better.
That's right. That's right.
That's how you get better.
And then the boys go to Richmond for the Bob Weddick tournament. That's a 3-day effect starting December 28th, 29th, and 30th. We almost knocked off Columbus North last year in that tournament.
And again, anytime that we're able to play over the break to get the kids, they're out of school, but the season rolls on, and you get these games under your belt. It's going to help out because, as Carrie's mentioned many, many times, these are really exhibitions. We got to really keep going into the sectional. We want to get that momentum right around that time. But I tell you, we're a good team, and I'm glad we're playing these tournaments, and I'm glad we're playing the teams that we're playing because it's only going to help us out later on as we get older.
That's really wall-to-wall basketball. That starts early in the morning. They have so many games. They use Earlham's facilities for some of them, plus the gym at Richmond. So if you're a basketball
go check it out.
freak, why go
and
check
I know
it
most of us are. I mean, you can't be from this area.
I think there are 30 teams in that thing, I believe.
Oh, is there? Wow,
Something
that's
like
unbelievable.
That. It's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
And again, anytime that we can, we can play teams that we don't normally play, teams that are bigger. Get a different style of team that we're playing against. We may not win, but again, the experience, will pay off. And again, as we get closer to sectional, you want to be rolling and peaking at that right time. And I do expect our kids to do very, very well in the postseason.
Again, we want to invite everybody to come to the Bowl on Saturday night to watch Richmond Red Devils come to town. And as you pointed out, Richmond is struggling a little bit, so we don't want to jinx the Spartans or anything like that.
No, we're not good at jinxing anybody, are we?
No, we've tried that on free throws.
Yeah, we tried
for the opposition team. It doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. But again, I'm very impressed with this team. I mean, we do have a very, very balanced team.
Yes.
Our team doesn't panic. Our team doesn't panic. It takes a while for us to maybe solve a riddle, but we eventually do solve it. Again, the Pendleton Heights game, it's just one of those games, and you give credit to Pendleton Heights for shutting us down and for making us shoot those 3-point shots and not letting us inside. But for the most part, we have been able to solve any defense that's been thrown our way. And you're not going to solve them all, but at least you're going to try. And our kids, they don't give up.
Pendleton did a good job scouting the Spartans. I mean, you could tell that they knew the Spartans' strengths and weaknesses, and they played on them.
Yeah.
And as you say, they did a good job. They kept us away from the basket, kept Grant Smith and Bo Isaacs out from under the basket. They controlled the game, getting the rebounds and everything, and all that spells a loss for the Spartans.
Yeah, we'll bounce back. We have South Denver in the next couple of days, and then we have Richmond Saturday. So, I expect big things from the Spartans as we roll into the Christmas break.
Our final show before the holidays, and we will wish our viewers the best of
Sammy,
the holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'm speaking for Sam Harvey, who you're substituting for tonight.
Yeah.
So we wish our viewers a very, very happy holiday season. We'll see you after the first of the year. Thanks everybody for watching another Spartan Sports Report on TV3.